Welcome back. We're fresh into a new school year, but the points on the pencils aren't even dull yet. If you happen to be enrolled at the Brooklyn campus of Long Island University, that's because the prime downtown complex, ranked the safest campus in New York City, is the site of a major labor battle between the school's administration and the LIU Faculty Federation over a new 3-year contract.
Meanwhile, though the Gowanus Canal has been designated a Superfund site for the last 6 years, that hasn't had much of a negative effect on property values. Now, who's doing the developing and just what are they building on one of the most polluted spots in the city? Yeah, we're talking ivory towers and residential towers, and who else but the folks at DNA Info New York could bring those worlds together. Alexandra Leon covers Dumbo, Fort Greene, and Clinton Hill right here in Brooklyn. Welcome to BK Live, Alexandra. And reporter Leslie Albrecht covers Park Slope, Windsor Terrace, and the aforementioned Gowanus. So welcome to BK Live, you two. So we read your stuff obsessively. Thanks for joining us at the table.
Big
Thank
fans.
you. Thanks.
Let's start with the LIU contract. What is at issue here with this contract?
So the LIU Faculty Union has been negotiating with the administration since April for a new contract. Their 5-year contract expired. It expired over Labor Day weekend, and the faculty wants equal pay they want the same starting salary as the professors at the CW Post campus.
Okay.
Which is in Brookville on Long Island.
What's that? So, but there's like a $10,000 on average, like differential between those pay gap?
Yes, so the union is saying that actually professors at the Long Island campus are making up to 20% more than what they're making at the Brooklyn campus.
Are the kids dumber there? They like really need instruction? It's a harder job?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think the union is actually saying that they're discriminating against the faculty at the Brooklyn campus, where students are there's actually a more diverse population.
So are people really paying attention? We saw a city council member who's from our district here where we sit, Lori Cumbo, was out there showing some support, but is this making enough noise? Is it big enough news? Are people really focused on what's happening out there?
Yeah, so there was a huge crowd there the other day on the first day of classes on Wednesday. There have been protests every day after that. If you pass by the campus, I just passed by there earlier today, and there's still protesters outside. City council members are writing letters. The public advocate was out there, Letitia James. So it's drawing a lot of attention.
And for those who don't know, why is this contract and its eventual outcome a big deal? Like, why should people pay attention to the story?
So it really affects faculty members right now because they don't have a salary. They don't have health benefits right now since they've been locked out of campus, and students say that it's affecting them as well because staff members that are not tenured professors that don't necessarily have PhDs are teaching the classes as replacement teachers. So a lot of students are worried that their schools are going to lose their accreditation and that their degrees are going to be essentially worthless.
I wonder what the timeline is on that. Do you have any idea about like when they go into the red zone?
They're currently negotiating. They're still negotiating. There were negotiations last night.
Right.
I hear from the union that they're making progress. The administration seems to be kind of budging a little bit as far as salary for professors. So it's just kind of a wait and see right now.
Because I think the last thing that we read, there was they were saying that the administrations offered salaries for professors to be on par, but that would level off after 5 years. So they worked their way up to it, but they would lose seniority payments and office hours and reduced workload for adjunct professors who are make up, I guess, the bulk of the instruction that happens at this campus.
Right. So I think that's what they still couldn't agree on last night. I spoke with the union vice president this morning, and he told me that the salary for professors, they're working on that, but the administration still does not seems to not want to give those benefits to adjuncts and wants to cut cut salary for office hours for adjunct professors.
Yeah, they always get the shaft. We had some adjuncts from CUNY here. It's a tough life to live as an adjunct.
Yes.
Speaking of tough life,
Let me go to you, Leslie. Thank you very much for being here. Gowanus is an area that's near and dear to all of our hearts.
not just because of the
It is.
bunnies.
Not just because of the Gowanus Bunnies.
Oh, the rabbits,
What?
yeah.
Can we start with the Gowanus Bunnies? Do you know anything about the
Give us
Gowanus
an update.
rabbits?
Okay, well.
You weren't prepared for that one.
I wasn't, but I can. It's okay. It's in court. Right? The criminal trial is proceeding, and the owner of the Gowanus rabbits, to refresh your viewers' memories,
Yes,
is a woman
please.
who had a couple of hundred rabbits living in the backyard of a tire shop on Third
Started
Avenue.
with two. You know how
And
that happens.
yeah, they were very active, and some of them even had syphilis.
no.
So she was charged with animal abuse, and now she's undergoing trial.
I'd love to get her on the show. I had a
Hoarders is
first.
coming. I'm sorry, this is news you can use again. Hoarders is coming to Brooklyn, and they're looking for people. So rabbit.
She should go on that
lady-
show too.
Oh man, she could pay her
She's
court
a
fees.
passionate advocate for herself and her rabbits.
I had a first-person view of the rabbits being confiscated. Now I have a first-person view of them coming back because now there's another 100 rabbits there. No further comments as to why I had the view. But the
All
Gowanus
this-
rabbits, very fascinating.
This is going down in a neighborhood where I just read Gowanus, the average home is like $1.4 million.
And if you
now.
told people
Shocking.
50 years ago in Brooklyn
Yeah,
that
or
one
even
day
10,
Gowanus houses
20.
would be
They're
1.4
too busy
million.
swimming in the canal.
Yeah, they would lose their minds. Now, let's talk about development in Gowanus. What is being built there other than rabbit homes?
Well, the biggest thing that's happened so far is the arrival of the first luxury rentals on the banks of the Gowanus Canal, which, to put that in perspective, that's luxury apartments that you pay several $1,000s a month to live in.
365 Bond Street.
At 365 Bond Street. They're very beautifully designed,
Yeah.
and they overlook one of the dirtiest waterways in America. It's full of chemicals and carcinogens, and you're not supposed to touch it. But it's there, and people are moving in,
Yeah.
and they're going fast.
And now the prices there are astonishing, right? A two-bedroom is $7,200. Is that? Could that? Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
That's what it said on
Well,
Streeties.
Is that a year? Or that's a month?
At their website, the things that are available, the lowest price studio is
Yeah.
$24.83 a
Right.
month, and the highest price 2-bedroom is $7,200.
Oh my
Yeah.
Every month they want
Yeah.
you
Oh
to pay
my
them.
God! Let's get two.
And,
For rent.
and just what's interesting about that site is that it's built on formerly contaminated land, and it was cleaned up,
Yeah.
okay, before
Yeah,
they
right.
built there.
Vegetable garden.
But it's not quite as clean as it could be, or I mean, it's as clean as it could be under the state. But
Shit, 72.
that doesn't mean that you can just like cavort around in the soil. You actually aren't allowed to like dig a vegetable garden there because you might come in contact with contaminated soil.
So that's what's there. Let's talk about what's not there.
What's
The
not there.
long promised affordable was like a 70 mix or something. It's supposed to bring some affordable housing,
Yes.
and it's delay.
Yeah, that's been in the works for a really long time. It's called Gowanus Green, or Public Place, actually, or Gowanus Green. It has two names. Anyway, the point is it's a multi-building complex that will be also on the banks of the canal, and it will have affordable units, 700 units in all. I think 70% of which are affordable. But it is taking a long time, but it will probably be moving forward sooner rather than later because the city has decided that they are looking at rezoning Gowanus with an eye towards building affordable housing there.
Right. So Gowanus could be like the Hudson Yards of Brooklyn.
If they cleaned up the Gowanus Canal, I think it would be the most popular spot in Brooklyn.
Happening already.
Right. I just don't know. I mean, do you think there will ever be a day, 10 years, 20 years from now, when that canal is clean?
Sure, that's what the Environmental Protection Agency says.
That's
I
what
mean,
they do.
by around 2022, they'll have scooped out some of the contamination at the bottom and put a cap over it, and then it will be clean.
So I know we had a map that we stole from you guys that showed where some of the development is. So right now, is there just wild speculation about the fact that in the near future, this is going to be like the Venice of Brooklyn?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what a lot of people think. So that map actually shows a lot of the properties that are in play right now, and there are plans for like a giant restaurant. There are plans for office complexes. There's going to be a giant art center in this old rundown powerhouse on 3rd Street and 3rd Avenue.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. I mean, in the coming years, the neighborhood will change dramatically. That's 365 Bond Street when it was under construction.
Before. Yeah.
And now it's like gleaming, and
It doesn't look like that.
it doesn't look like that.
That looks like a building I could afford to live in.
as is.
Alexandra, let's get you back in the conversation. When can we expect an outcome in the LIU contract talks?
They haven't set a timeline. I think negotiations are going to continue until they come to an agreement.
Woof. So is this like a new thing? I feel like Verizon, of course, their workers were on the picket lines. We're used to seeing maybe the public unions or the garbage guys in August say no more. But I can't remember in recent history when like a professor, some classics guy, has been on the street corner saying, "Let me in, I want to teach."
So the professors at LIU Brooklyn have gone on strike before. The last time they went on strike was in 2011, but they were never, I don't think their contract had actually expired at that point, right? So what happened now is the administration locked them out before the contract officially expired so that they could hire the replacement workers.
So before we get out of here, though, it's election day, primary season. Go out and choose your choice. I know you guys have been running some great stuff about issues and people. One hot race in South Brooklyn.
Yeah, the 44th Assembly District. For the first time in 32 years, voters will be able to choose a replacement for
Goodbye,
James Brennan, who retired. So it's Bobby Carroll facing off against Troy Odendahl and Rob Curry-Smithson, and then on the Republican side is Glenn Nocera. And they are all people who want to change Albany and make it more ethical.
Yeah. All right, we'll get some, hopefully some people will be motivated to vote today. I know there's the race that Vilmanette Montgomery's engaged in as well against Rob. I'm not remembering his last name. Michael Cox. Thank you, voice of God. But any predictions? Or have you guys been taking the temperature? Are people even paying attention to the election this time, primary stuff?
Supposed to be a very low turnout, right?
Yeah.
Nothing further? Who are you guys voting for? No, just kidding. Thank you very much for being here. Do you guys know each other? You both work at DNA Info, is that
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. You're colleagues.
Just give us a picture of the newsroom.
What goes on?
Yeah, what goes on?
I need more inside scoop on my areas, the Park Slope, Windsor Terrace, Gowanus. We'll do it when we go off the air. Thank you guys very much for being here. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you.